War trophies are a very touchy subject I've been debating about covering, mostly due to politics. But here we are. Fair warning, before we go on, I'll mostly be focusing on Russian war trophies. I also want to say I might get some details wrong because a lot of this stuff is hard to differentiate. But I digress, so let's move on. I could start by talking about how war trophies have always existed since, well, war. And how you might even have a bring back from your great-grandpa. Or how it technically falls under looting and pillaging according to the Geneva Convention. Normally, I'd give you a history lesson and explain why collecting items from this war have become so big, and why people get excited over something like blood-stained pants, which I'm gonna be real with you, you're kinda weird for that. But my time is limited. I decided to skip that. I'm sorry about that. Usually I'd make my videos longer, but right now I'm in a tight spot. I have to leave my computer soon for a bit, and also I'm on call 24/7 for my job, so this will be a shorter one. A lot of people think getting a war trophy is as easy as looting a dead guy, but it's not. Many don't realize that most soldiers don't want the extra weight on them. Sure, it's cool to have a helmet or vest, but carrying one home while going in and out of combat is not fun. Even when the fighting stops and the area is clear, it's still hard to grab items since you're always moving forward. Most trophies you see usually come from old abandoned positions. While newer items do get picked up, your average soldier isn't going to grab a heavy helmet or plated vest. They're going to be going for smaller stuff, passport or military tickets. I don't have to explain why those are common. Both sides do it to flex kills, like showing their KD. Patches are another way of doing that. It's the most common trophy taken by the average soldier, outside of gear they can actually use, like plates, night vision, or thermals. There's also instances of captured vests being used. But let's move on to what you probably came here for, the cool trophies. While I could talk about oddities like these swords, which technically fall under cool stuff, I feel like we should talk about something more on brand. Night vision. From PVS 7s all the way up to quad NVGs, many systems have been captured. Some people don't know this, but yes, quad NVGs have been captured. There are about 3 to 4 examples I'm aware of. I say 3 to 4 because while I can confirm 3, I'm unsure about the 4th. From what I know, 2 sets come from a Ukrainian SSO, the 3rd is a bit of an oddball. It's real, American, and confirmed to be captured, but I couldn't find much more on it. The 4th is just another captured set, put back into use, or Russian-made quad NVGs. Then there are the PBS 31s. I know a handful have been captured, but I don't know the exact number. I should also mention the PBS 14s and PBS 7s that have been seen. Though I couldn't find a confirmed reference picture of the PBS 7 in use because of how many Russian copies there are. Now moving on to thermals. As you might expect, thermals are another heavily captured item, but since the market is mostly domestic, it's hard to say exactly what's captured and what isn't. The Ukrainian Archer thermals I've seen from time to time are definitely captured. And finally, onto weapons. I could talk about the amount of javelins that have been captured, and while some call that disinformation, there's already enough evidence to suggest that it's most likely true. Plus, the fact that Russian influencers have gotten their hands on them is telling. But let's talk about a better known system that got captured so often that Russia had to start making its ammo. The Barrett. Yes, really. So many of these rifles ended up in Russian hands that the MOD began producing cartridges for them. Most types of Barretts have been captured, and are now used by multiple units, from sober to regular soldiers. Most were captured during 2022 and 2023, though they are still taken from time to time. There's also a mountain of random Western rifles, some of which are surprising, like civilian models, like the mini Daniel defense rifles that were sent to Ukraine. While I could go on about countless other rifles that have changed hands, even Ukrainian bullpups, which I personally like, I feel like you've seen all of them, even the weird ones. Outside of that, there's not much more I can say. I hope this gave you some insight into Russian war trophies, though as you probably guessed, it's mostly Western and European gear with some Ukrainian pieces mixed in. I'm sorry about how lackluster this video is. This video has gone through multiple script changes and it's so much. And my job has recently had an uptick for some reason, so I want to get this out even if I don't really like the quality, but it gives the insight you guys need to know. So I'm sorry this video isn't longer and more in-depth. I wanted to go about some of the fog war trophies and whatnot, but maybe another day. And I personally just don't like talking about war trophies because I just don't really like them. So I'm sorry about all this. You should expect the next video. It should be on time. if I don't get, screwed over again. But outside that, I hope this helps you. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, I'll see you next time. If you want Ukrainian war trophies, go to Cossack Bay on Instagram. Look, I have them linked in the description. Here they are. Here they are. Boom, look at that. You can get an MM14 jacket. You can get MM14 pants. You can get like a field shirt. Look, you can get all these. They probably have some more. I don't know. Then also go to Tanki store. Yeah, that's right. Tanki store. They're another good seller in the US. They've had capture stuff. They had some tourniquets, but I don't know if they have those anymore. Anyway, go to these guys. They're good. They're linked down in the description. They can get you the Russian gear you need. I'm out. Bye.